I need to talk about what happened at the bar. Before anybody, I knew, alright, a grown man should not be escorted out of a bar by a group of bikers because he lost control of his lower situation while playing on a background in the jukebox for the seventh time. But that's not a straight road. Life is a greasy parking lot behind a place called the Rusty Nail, where four men named things like Rooster, Tank, Big Smelvin, and possibly Lunchbox decide your destiny because he got too emotionally attached to early substandard pop music from the early 2000s. Now hold on now. I'm playing a video game. A video game where a video game is really fun and cool. I went from my home, but my power flickered out on and off, and I panicked. When you're a man of my condition, spiritually damp, physically attached to a piece of furniture, by what the doctors are calling choice residual, you don't handle darkness well. So I went to the Rusty Nail with my friend, Alan, for what I call a community experience. Other people call it sitting alone near a broken dartboard, drinking draft beer that tastes like nickels. I was doing fine at first. I had my little corner, had my little basket of French fries. Oh, I love my French fries. I had one of those boss duels that screams when you sit on it, like it knows this is the end. Then I saw the jukebox glowing in the corner. It would come to me. It said like an arcade cabinet from heaven, except sticky and for poor decisions. And there it was, Holla Back Girl, the Kids Bop version. Now some men hear a song and think that's catchy. I heard it and thought, well, this is medicine. So I played it once and people tolerated it. But by the second time, the people were like, what the hell's going on with this feller? Third time, the bartender looked at me like I had brought home a raccoon to a funeral. Fourth time, the biker in the corner said, this pool cue down real slow like. It should have been done, and that should have been the warning. But then a man has found his answer. He does not read the room like one does because, it's all about me. I'm the Meghan Markle of this here world. Of this town, I should say. He comes not to read the room, but because the room's a problem, I just found it. I found this video game, and it's pretty fun. But anyways, somewhere between replay number 6 and the greasy, soggy, cold French fries, my stomach made it sound like a haunted garage door opener. I froze, of course. Ever know if something bad has happened before your brain is ready to admit it? Well, that was me. I was sitting right there, eyes forward, hands folded. A man trying to negotiate for something better. But anyways, the bartender looked at me and he asked me, are you all right? And I said, I have entered a private battle. Then the bartender looked at me, tried to cold cock me upside the head because I was talking like an idiot. Then this guy named Rooster stood up. Well, he's not a small man, because Rooster looked like if a leather jacket learned disappointment, his beard had weird weather patterns. He says to me,
son, did you just play the song again?
And I was like, with the courage of a man who had already lost everything south of the belt, hoping to God no one noticed the big mud pile in my pants and the moistness in the front. And I had to answer him, and I was like, yes, sir. Then all of a sudden, the jukebox started up again. That beat hit the room like a subpoena. Big Melvin over there turned around, took out his sunglasses, which was strange because we were indoors and it was like 10:30 at night. Lunchbox whispered over to his buddy, not again. Not again, and that means history existed before me. I wasn't even the first monster. Then Rooster sniffed the air, and that was the moment the story became folklore. He didn't say anything at first. He just looked down. Then he looked at me. Then he looked at the jukebox and he said,
You done brought Shane and Gwen Stefani into this establishment?
I tried to stand. Bad idea. The boss still made a noise like a duck being stepped on and my knees buckled. And for the one terrible second, I was neither sitting nor standing. I was hovering in moral failure. I said, Gentlemen, I can explain. Then Tank was like,
No, you can't.
Fair. They didn't beat me up. I want that clear for the record. Because I'm making this for the police. Because I'm making records of everything that happens in my town and to my person. Because of, the cops don't do anything and they're all racist to me. Because I'm morbidly obese. But anyways, they rolled me like a carpet. Like a suspicious rug, Rooster grabbed one side of my jacket, which really is just a garbage bag. Big Kevin grabbed the other side, And then Snelvis was just there laughing like a fool. And then they rotated me towards the exit with a solemn teamwork of men moving a piano. I remember it all. The shame. The jukebox still playing that weird anorexic girl song. That's the part that hurts. Even as I was being removed from society, the music continued without me. My adventures played on. They got me outside and then set me gently beside the cigarette machine, which hasn't worked since Reagan was shot. Rooster crouched down to me and he said,
Boy, you need to go home.
I said, I can't. My couch misses me too much. He nodded. Not because, he understood, but because, the stench was bringing tears to his eyes and causing him to vomit up his cheap beer all over his leathers. Hold on now, I gotta find this videogram. I got this videogram from a website I usually frequent, but that's another story for another time. Because I'm just a fat man trying to make it in this world. And that's why I'm making these videos, because I got nothing left. I'm just a fat man in a town full of people trying to live. And maybe someday you could visit me and buy me some pizza and burgers and get me some shower curtains and get me a hat and a book and be my best friend. And I'll buy myself dinner with the money you give me because I'm a fat man who couldn't